Hello everyone. I'm actually Cheesy87, and this is gonna be a new little experiment that I'm going to be trying when we finish LPs. So this is gonna be both a little bit of an overview of what these videos are going to be, as well as doing the first episode, which is going to be on the recently completed Sekiro Let's Play. So basically, what this is going to, the series, so to speak, it's not really going to be a series per se, is that whenever I finish LPs from now on, I want to try and do like a retrospective on the LP, like what, both for self-reflection and just to kind of have additional time to talk about anything that maybe I wanted to talk about in the actual LP but didn't get a chance to, or maybe never fully articulated some of my thoughts. So basically, this is coming from like, it's something that I decided I was going to do, which is like self-reflecting on LPs after they finish, but just something I kind of already do, but I thought maybe doing it, like vocalizing it out loud and then having a record of that for myself mainly would be cool. And I figured may as well post it to YouTube because it might maybe be interesting, probably not, but we'll see. So that's kind of like the overview. Basically, it's going to be done for at the end of every LP, with some exceptions for things like, say, Trails. I'm going to do like a longer version that's going to go over all 3 LPs. Like, I wanted to do one at the end of Trails 2, but decided I was just going to wait and do a longer video at the end of Trails 3. Same with Virtue's Last Reward, which ended just yesterday for me when I'm recording this. I'm gonna wait and do a longer video whenever we play Zero Time Dilemma, which isn't like a super high priority or anything, and it would be like an overview of all 3 of those LPs and my thoughts in the entire series, as opposed to just doing like game by game, because I can't really talk about Virtue's Last Reward without spoiling Zero Time Dilemma. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. But we're gonna go to Sekiro and not talk about other things. So Sekiro was an LP. It was indeed an LP that was done extremely quickly. I did not really mean to upload the LP as quickly as it did. Basically, what was going to happen was I wanted to have all the videos finished by June 9th. This will be going up sometime, probably that same week. I don't really know. I think the finale is scheduled for June 9th, I want to say. But like, what was going to happen was I was going to do, and I don't know if I'm going to do it anymore, but I was going to do a playthrough of EU4 on the Emperor DLC. Some people may remember that I did one back when the Nepal, or the Dharma DLC came out. I did an EU4 playthrough, because that's like my most played game of all time, and the Emperor patch is really big, and it comes out on the 9th. And I was going to try and get a playthrough started like day of regular release, but I unfortunately am not really going to be able to record in any for the next like week or so. Basically until, let's see, where's my calendar? June 15th, because I live with my mom, and she was exposed to the coronavirus. She's fine, but she does have to stay on like, still one more week of quarantine before she can go back to work, and since she's just here all the time, I just don't have any time to record in isolation. So that's why Sekiro was uploaded so quickly, was because I was thinking I was going to try and get it finished and then instantly replace it with EU4, and then that way I could still go ahead and do with my plans of playing Trails 3 and Digimon when VLR ended and when Pokemon ended, respectively. So it's like, what, 26 parts total, and we did it in just a little over a month, so it's probably one of the fastest I've beaten an LP. Actually, I think it's the fastest I've ever done an LP. Even something like Ys 1, which is only 7 parts, took like almost 2 months because I was only doing 1 video a week. But, so yeah, that's kind of like the overview of the series. So some things that I thought went wrong. One of the major annoyances I had was video quality. And I tried to correct it a little bit in the second half of the series, and I don't really think it did all that well, because basically it was only an issue I noticed in post, like when videos would go up to YouTube, because my raw files looked fine. There was some parts where the bitrate would crap itself out, but that was also sections where, like, I think there were just like CPU spikes with the game. but like the videos on YouTube look kind of like garbage. And to a degree, that's YouTube. It just does that. Like that's something that even people who have better like hardware to record in the beginning have problems with like really bad artifacting and video degradation on YouTube. So on one hand, that's all my fault, or it's not all my fault, but I think I could have been recording in like higher bit rates and then rendering in higher bit rates, and so from now on I am doing that. But it does kind of suck that some of those videos just look really bad. Another thing that happened that I think could have gone better is I tried to redesign the thumbnails for that series like halfway through. I kind of it was more of a like larger thing of like maybe thinking about redesigning the way I do thumbnails from the beginning. And for the most part, I think they look fine. The Sekiro thing, it's too big. Because basically the way it was is it was just Sekiro with no kind of like originally it was just the word Sekiro from the in the text font of the game itself, with no background or anything, and it was fine, but it just didn't really stand out all that much. So I decided to try and like add some borders, change with color schemes, added a bit of a like a shape outline to it. But the problem is basically just the text is too big. It needed to be smaller. So I had like some problems with thumbnails where like it would cover up some of the action on the screen, especially because Sekiro is not like a super thumbnail friendly game because of like the UI and stuff. So that was kind of a problem, was like, just getting thumbnails for each video. It was nice if the video had a cutscene, but not all of them had a cutscene. So some of the thumbnails are kind of trash. One in particular is part 23. What in the fuck is going on in that one? I got no clue. But yeah, so that was something that happened. I think it worked better because I got the design for when I was making the Digimon thumbnails, which have not gone up as of yet, as of this video going up. Because I can't record the finale to Pokemon because I can't record. So that series is going to be a little bit delayed. That's why there was no Pokemon video last week, or the week of the 6th. There was no Pokemon video. Instead, I just did the finale of VLR because I didn't have a Pokemon video to upload. But the design for the Sekiro thumbnails is basically something that I used for the Digimon thumbnails, and I think the Digimon thumbnail looks a lot cleaner. It works better with the font, I think, and it's not as big. I might, if I think about it, flash up an image of what I'm going to try. Like, so far, this is what I think the first Digimon thumbnail is going to look like. That's always subject to change, but yeah, so I think the thumbnail redesign could have gone better. When I really noticed how large the logo was, I just didn't want to go back and change all the thumbnails again, so I just kind of rolled with it, and so the thumbnails aren't all that great for that series. Other things that I thought went wrong, some salt. There wasn't a ton of salt. Really the only salty video was part 19 and 20, which is the Hirata Estate revisit. I definitely got quite salted at the Juzo refight. Really the main salt, I think, the only time where I was like, oh my god, like I was embarrassed, was when I died to the monk spear dudes. There was just, come on dude, it's a video game, don't get so mad. And also I got really mad at that second Shishiman warrior death in Fountainhead Palace. But for the most part, I don't think the salt was too bad. I only really get mad at myself when I get angry is when I'm unfair to a game. Like if I start saying the game's bad because I'm angry, then I get annoyed, because just because you're bad at the game doesn't mean the game's bad. That's something that like I very much believe at the core of my belief. But I think some salt can be a little funny, so it wasn't too bad. Some things that I thought went well with the series, I mean the overall quickness and upload pace of the videos. Like I felt like every video a lot got done. It was only a couple videos, and those were mainly just like doing story related stuff. like trying to unlock the true ending and things like that. Some of those videos were a little slow, but most of the videos were pretty action-packed. There was always something interesting to happen in each one. The series as a whole basically had daily uploads, so there was a lot of momentum, which I think worked well with the series. One thing I do wish I hadn't have done, I think in like part 25, I complain about like when the first video went up, like basically the first video was up for like a week before anyone watched it, like before it got any actual watch time. And for the most part, Sekiro, it performed about where I would want it to on watch time. I mean, obviously I have a very small channel, so nothing's really getting watched all that much. But basically I'll say it did better than VLR, but worse than Trails 2. So, but it did good enough for me to feel okay. Some other good things about it, some of the boss fights were really fun. I thought I did good on, like, Demon of Hatred. I'm proud of my performance on there. Well, proud's maybe a strong word. But, like, we did good on it. We beat Isha on the first try. The Guardian Ape, being able to clutch that out with, like, his second phase only having one healing gourd was nice. The actual successful attempt against Owl 2 was really good. I thought, like, you can just kind of feel a lot of that relief. Like, that's something that I've actually kind of enjoyed watching a little bit, like, when I was editing that video. Because it is kind of fun to watch yourself play a video like that after the fact. Because sometimes you'll realize, like, oh my god, I really did, like, dodge or parry that at literally the last frame. Holy shit, that's really cool. And then sometimes you see yourself just spam parrying, and you're like, why are you doing that? Don't do that, dude. You're being an idiot. So that's something that's kind of unique, and I'm really looking forward to doing that for whenever I play the Dark Souls series, which is moving on to the next point of not really things specific to the LP, but just in general things that I wanted to talk about related to Sekiro that I didn't get a chance to. So one of the things is I never really talked about Dark Souls versus Sekiro. I kind of alluded to my thoughts on the matter in one video, but then never elaborated because the video was ending. But so for context, basically in the lead up to Sekiro, or the reason for me replaying Sekiro, was a lot inspired by I watch Northern Line like a lot. Like I watch him too much, and he's been replaying the Soul series over the last couple months on Twitch. It started off with him doing like 2 randomizers of Dark Souls 1, then he played DS3, and now he's playing DS2 as of the time I'm recording this. And so I basically kind of played along with DS1. I did a randomizer, had some fun with it. Ultimately, my randomizer was like really easy, so it wasn't, well, like the beginning was hard, but everything else was kind of a joke. So I didn't have like a ton of enthusiasm for playing more Dark Souls games after that. But when he went to Dark Souls 3, I decided not to follow along because I didn't have the DLC at the time. I do now because it finally went on sale for like a good price. I haven't played it yet. I am replaying DS3 like right now in my off time, but I'm at the end of the game. I'm about to start the DLC. Probably will start it today, in all honesty, after I finish recording this. But so yeah, when he was playing DS3, I decided to return to Sekiro, and I figured, hey, let's do a Let's Play. It could be fun and a way to break up the JRPG, like a good break between Trails 2 and 3, since those are going to be super long JRPGs. What was I saying? I completely lost my train of thought. But yeah, so I played Sekiro, and now that I've replayed DS2, and I'm about to finish up playing DS3 again, like after having played Sekiro, and I also did a New Game Plus No Kuro's Charm Bell Demon run right after the LP on that same like LP file, and that was so much fun. Beating Ishin and Demon of Hatred on that was very, very good. One of the only times it just feels good to get your heart racing again, because like Ishin, like for the most part, whenever I've replayed Sekiro, he's just not that hard anymore, and so actually getting him to be hard again was so good, because he's like one of my favorite boss fights in video games. I mean, you could make an argument he's my favorite boss in video games. I don't really know how I would set up an official list, though. But what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So, since I replayed Dark Souls, I've kind of learned to appreciate Sekiro more. Because I think the things that Sekiro excels at is that it cuts away all the fluff of Dark Souls. That, I mean, I won't say it's fluff, per se, but, like, it's just nice to be able to play the game and not have to worry about like, ooh, there's, you know, items you gotta find, and you don't technically have to worry about that because it's not like you need anything in Dark Souls. I mean, you can beat it at soul level 1 with no equipment if you want to, if you're good enough. I'm not, but I mean, I could do a soul level 1, but I couldn't do like, you know, soul level 1 like starting equipment, no upgrading, stuff like that. But what was I just keep losing my train of thought, dude. But so yeah, like Sekiro, one of the things I like about it so much is that it doesn't have any annoying areas. Really, the only part of the game that I think is flat out designed to be kind of like a Dark Souls-esque annoying area is the middle section of Fountainhead Palace, the part where there's all the Mist Nobles. But even that, you can just run through, and it takes about 20 seconds. So it's like, if you don't want to engage with the nonsense parts of Sekiro, it makes it very easy to not do that. And I think that's part of the reason why I like the original Dark Souls so much, is because I've played it enough that I know what to do for every section, and I know what items are important and what items aren't. Because that's something that's been annoying me replaying through DS2 and DS3. Is that like, okay, there's this optional side area, and then you explore it, and it takes fucking 20 minutes maybe, and then you get an item and you don't need it. It's like, oh, it's a miracle. I'm like, I don't level faith, dude. What do you think I am? Some type of scaredy cat? With that being said, I actually am playing DS3 as a magic build for the first time in my Dark Souls career, and it is honestly, I kind of respect the playstyle a little bit more. I think it's partially because I'm being kind of dumb and not using magic. I keep trying to fight bosses straight up with shit stats, and then being like, why am I dying, dude? And then whenever I just decide, like, okay, I'm just gonna shoot fucking magic missiles at them, and then it's like, oh, I won on my first try. Maybe magic is actually super easy. Maybe I was right originally. I don't know. But what was I've got such a bad train of thought. I don't know if I'm gonna have background music for this. Right now, I am listening to the Zeiss theme from Trails in the Sky because it's like one of the best pieces of video game music ever, and I'm getting a little lost in it. I think we'll probably put that in the background for this video just because it's so nice. It's so low key. I love it. I can't wait for the Trails 3 videos to start going up. Also, I can't wait to start recording that series again. But yeah, so Sekiro. Another thing that I did kind of talk about this in part 25 of my thoughts on like the difficulty of Sekiro, and how basically it's really, I would say, I find Sekiro actually a little bit easier than Dark Souls simply because the difficulty of Sekiro is only in its boss fights. Like, the areas in and of themselves aren't hard, because if an area is hard, you can just run past everything. Like, the game really doesn't force you to engage in the things that I personally find a little nonsense. Like, you know, like, who likes poison swamp areas in Dark Souls? No one actually likes them. Some people might say they like them, but they're wrong. And they don't actually believe that. They just say that online so that they can seem unique. No one likes Farron Keep. No one likes Blighttown. No one likes, honestly, okay, well, I don't think the gutter's that bad, in all honesty, in DS2. But that's because I'm a weirdo. And plus, the gutter takes like 5 minutes, so it's really not all that bad. But yeah, but like, all the Dark Souls games, all 3 of them, have like areas that are designed to be annoying. And even if you can get through them easily, they're still just there to be annoying and kind of troll you. And Sekiro only has that in the Fountainhead Palace. And even then, because you have so many Sculptor's Idols, like, whenever you die in Sekiro, you really don't lose all that much progress. So for the most part, I don't find myself getting frustrated or annoyed at all in it. With the exception of in the LP, I got a little salty just because, like, I felt like I was better at the game and I was playing badly. And I was tilted from that headless fight. It was basically just that one recording session, like parts 17 through 20. I was just tilted that entire time, but So yeah, but like basically replaying Dark Souls has made me like Sekiro more, and I think I would actually say it's my favorite FromSoft game. I don't think it's the best. I still think Dark Souls 1, you have to give it that props for refining the Demon Souls formula, and plus so much of Sekiro's DNA is derived from Dark Souls 1 that I have to say it's the best. And plus because, I mean, it's legacy and everything. So, and I mean, you could make an argument for Demon Souls since it was the first Souls game, but Dark Souls just does everything Demon Souls does better. I don't think that's a super controversial. I mean, there's some people who really like Demon Souls, but... And I think there is stuff to like. There's also a lot to not like, though. Mainly, grass is bad. I don't like grass. I think grass is kind of stupid, because you just trivialize every boss fight because you have infinite heals. Which can also kind of be said... Well, at least in DS2, you can get infinite life gems, but you can only get infinite of the low-level life gems. So, and they're not as viable. Like, they're not like the grass in Demon Souls where they instantly full heal you. And so it's just, you have unlimited healing. It's really cool. But that's something to talk about for another time. I guess we're getting close. I don't want these videos to be more than about 20 minutes. And plus, I am recording on like a time constraint. I need to stop soon, because I'm about to not be alone anymore. So, I'm trying to think anything else. Oh, one of the big problems I will say about Sekiro, the one thing that I think holds it back is repetition. It doesn't have a lot of unique enemies. Like, a lot of the mini bosses are the same, just with like maybe a little bit added. Like, say like the ninja shadow warrior archetype. Like, the only difference between them and the late game is that the late game enemies get, like, a poison, like, chop attack. But that's really the main issue I have with Sekiro, is repetitive enemies. Mainly for the mini-bosses. Like, you fight basically every mini-boss at least once later on as, like, a stronger version, which is pretty lame. I wish everything was unique. And I think it reuses Ashina Castle too much. Like, you basically have to go to Ashina Castle 3 different times. And for the second and third visits, when you go right before the owl boss fight, and then at the end of the game when it's on fire, like, you do kind of just blast through it. It's not like you have to redo the entire place again. But it is a little lame that, like, it doesn't have as many unique areas, even though I think the unique areas in Sekiro are really cool. But yeah, really, that's the only major complaint I have towards Sekiro, is the repetitiveness of the bosses and the reusing of some of the areas. Like, I mean, even the Headless, like the Guardian Ape fight, like, they reuse that later for the Headless Ape fight, which is basically, I mean, it's the same, except you have to fight a Guardian Ape at the same time, which is, it's cool, but it's also kind of lame. I would rather it just been, like, a completely new boss, but, I mean, to a degree, Dark Souls does that as well. There's some bosses, like DS2, for example, has, like, the reskinned Smelter Demon in the DLC. And you fight 3 different dragons that all do the exact same thing. The Guardian Dragon, the Ancient Dragon, and Sin are all hit them in the ankles, and then when they fly in the air, run away, and then hit them in the ankles again. They all basically play out the exact same, even though they do have some different movesets. But I think we'll stop now. So I don't know how this went. I'll probably have to re-listen to this and even see if I want to upload this in the first place with something kind of experimental like this. Yeah, like I said, well, I will say these are more for myself, not for, like, actually I think it's entertaining content. It's something that, like, I want to have a permanent record of so that I can go back and listen to and see, like, what did I think about Sekiro back in the year 2020? And now I have, like, an idea. Because I think that's one of the coolest things about doing Let's Plays, is that you have this permanent record of yourself throughout the years. Like, I mean, theoretically, I can go back and listen to what I sounded like when I was 14 and cringe. And that's cool. Yeah, I'm XShe's87. Stay tuned for the next Let's Play video, whatever. We probably won't get one of these anytime soon. Probably the next one will be at the end of Trails 3, and it'll be a very long one where I talk about all 3 Let's Plays. Oh boy, that's going to be fun. But yeah, so that's a long ways off. I'll see y'all then. Goodbye.